Welcome to Headline to Heartline. Sarah Ferguson steps into our story today the way a familiar silhouette fills a doorway at dusk, carrying with her the history, contradictions, and quiet drama of a life lived under perpetual scrutiny. In this episode, I will explain this new narrative surrounding Sarah Ferguson, the claim that she is supposedly moving into a one-bedroom property on Princess Beatrice's luxurious Cotswolds estate. And the detail that makes this story so intriguing is that these reports aren't coming from tabloids. They're coming from Marie Claire, a reputable publication with high editorial standards. That alone makes us wonder, is her PR team deliberately shaping a new narrative, a new image, a new arc of humility? I'll explain the full story, so stay with me until the end. This week, the headlines insist she is being nudged into a one-bedroom cattle shed annex on Beatrice's estate, a former duchess downsizing to a rustic outbuilding. What an irresistible contrast. If the kind of detail that jolts an audience, the kind that makes us lean closer. But the moment we slow down, breathe, and look carefully, the entire story begins to feel constructed. Not by accident, and not without intention. Because despite the rustic wording, a cattle shed annex in the Cotswolds is rarely humble. It stands on the large country estate where land, privacy, and centuries-old stone whisper privilege in every direction. These converted outbuildings often come with underfloor heating, vaulted ceilings, manicured paths, and quiet corners that feel curated rather than compromised. They're frequently valued between $500,000 and over $1 million, making them more luxurious than most people's main homes. And crucially, they sit on acreage, real acreage, where hedges protect, fields soothe, and the world stays just far enough away. Living on Beatrice's estate wouldn't mean a downgrade. It would mean shielded comfort. It would mean family nearby, security built into the landscape, the soft companionship of countryside living, and the ability to retreat when she wishes. It would mean quiet, safety, and resources wrapped in the shape of modesty. Very different from the sharp drama of a cramped urban one-bedroom flat the headlines try to suggest. And here is where the deeper reflection sharpens. Sarah Ferguson is not a woman who gravitates toward reduction. She is the kind of person who preferred to remain living with her ex-husband, Prince Andrew, for more than 30 years. Why? Because of comfort, familiarity, and privilege. Because their shared life, unconventional to outsiders, but extremely convenient to them, allowed her to remain buffered inside the royal ecosystem without ever needing to stand fully outside it. It preserved her lifestyle, her security, and her place near the center of a world that no longer officially included her. For someone who chose shared hallways and safety over independence for decades, the idea that she'd now embrace minimalist living in a tiny annex rings thin. It feels more like narrative architecture than personal evolution. Which brings us to the most intriguing layer of all, the source. Marie Claire is not a tabloid. It is a reputable publication, measured, selective, and deliberate about the stories it chooses to amplify. When an outlet like that runs a claim, it signals that someone wanted this story told in a particular framing. It isn't the wild speculation of rumor mills. It's something closer to strategic storytelling. So we have to ask, why this narrative and why now? The timing offers an answer. Sarah Ferguson is enduring the worst backlash of her public life. Her decades-long association with Prince Andrew has collided head-on with the renewed, intensified scrutiny of the Epstein investigations in 2025. The public pressure is heavier, louder, and less forgiving than ever. Her name, once merely adjacent to scandal, is now being pulled deeper into the conversation, not by choice, but by unavoidable proximity. And in the middle of that hurricane, the need for privacy becomes not only understandable, but necessary. Retreating to a quiet, gated property in the countryside makes emotional and logistical sense. But quiet is not the same as humble. Solitude does not equal sacrifice. And a well-appointed annex on a family estate is not the punishment the headlines want us to imagine. It's simply the safest, most strategic option available to her. Which is why the possibility of PR involvement becomes so compelling. If the public believes she has downgraded, then over time they may believe she has paid her dues. They may begin to view her as a woman rebuilding rather than a woman avoiding the fallout of her choices. They may see her as humbled, gentled, even victimized, instead of cushioned, protected, and insulated. A carefully shaped victim narrative can soften even the hardest public eye. But this is not a downgrade. It is noise. Curated noise. A story designed to shrink the optics of her life without shrinking its comforts. Like and subscribe. And when we cut through the noise, really cut it cleanly and without sentiment, what remains is a clearer, steadier picture. A former duchess retreating not into hardship, but into protection. A house small only in description, not in reality. A life rearranged for safety, not accountability. And that doorway we saw at the beginning, it still stands in the glow of privilege, reminding us that some stories can shrink the house all they want. The estate surrounding it always tells the truth.